সকালে কথা গেলা গোরা নটরাজ আশানে কোটিব মাথা অনলে পশিব গৌরাঙ্গ গুণের নিধি কথা গেলে পাব গৌরাঙ্গ গুণের নিধি কথা গেলে পাব সভ সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সভ সঙ্গীরা সঙ্গে যে কইল বিলাস সেই সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরোত্তম দাস হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Tirobha Mahamahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Sata Shri Srimad Abhaya Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Sata Shri Srimad Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj Tirobha Mahotsav ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminiti Namane. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Gaura Kisoraya, Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye, Vipralambarasam Bodhe, Padam Bujayate Namaha. I bow to your lotus feet, Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji, the embodiment of renunciation and the ocean of sacred rapture in separation. So today is the disappearance day of Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, and this book that we have been kindly blessed with is a wonderful book where so much information is found about all the wonderful parishads of Lord Chaitanya, the associates of Lord Chaitanya. This is a good book. It's really ecstatic. I was really in bliss reading this yesterday. So, trying to, in my meager way, share this nectar. Hopefully, you all can pay attention and experience some nectar by hearing the transcendental katha of the activities, character, and qualities of His Divine Grace, Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj. So, in the middle of this, we'll be singing two bhajans, actually, one towards the end and one in the middle, because it's there in this book. Okay, so, Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj was born into a Vaishya family on the banks of the Padma River in Bagayan village in Faridpur district, in what is now known as Bangladesh. The names of his parents are unknown. His given name was Vamsidas. He was born sometime in the middle of the 19th century. He's important to us because he's the Diksha Guru of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, founder of the Chaitanya Math and the worldwide Gaudiya Maths. Vamsidas's parents had him married at an early age, according to the custom of the time, but he always remained detached from householder life. His main interest was always in worshipping the Lord. When his wife died, he left home and went to Vrindavan, where he took the Paramahamsa Vesha from Bhagavad Das Babaji, a disciple of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and took the name Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji. So, here you can notice how practically nothing is known about Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj's Purvashrama, as they would say, means before, it's not even ashrama actually, but so Purvashrama is generally used with regards to sannyasis, because sannyas ashram, Purvashram refers to grihastha and whatever before. So, anyways, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, he took Babaji Vesh, which means he's transcendental. But still, so we don't know much about his Purvashrama. We don't know the names of his parents. He was born in a village that was known, but his birth year even is not known. And the name of his wife is unknown. So, this is again the quality of someone who's Babaji. He hardly spoke about himself, so there's not much information found. It's the characteristic again of someone who's highly renounced, that you don't really know much about their material life. And so we can learn these things from Srila Babaji Maharaj. Also, it is a fact that in India, especially in the lower castes, not so much of the birth details were also well kept, because they wouldn't check horoscopes even when they get married and things like that. And so, in overall, the general culture, Vedic culture, is not too much importance is given to birthdays. That's the culture. And you see the opposite going on in the Western world, where so much importance is given to this birthday of when one is born, and it's some big thing and this and that. But in many cases, you will find individuals in India, probably even today, who don't really know when they were born. And it's not unusual. And it's not something to be very surprised about. That was how civilization was back in the day. So, what to speak of Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, who is actually a renunciant of the highest order. So, he took Paramahamsa Vesh from Bhagavad Das Babaji, who is a disciple of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji. And, there's this found in online, huh? Oh, okay. Sampradaya Sons, got it. Nice. All right. So he took the... So, again, there's no information of who actually his guru was. He took Paramahamsa Vesh. We can consider that as his guru. This is a disciple of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. But as you will see later, he regarded Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as his spiritual master. Gaura Kishore comes to Navadvip. After being initiated into the Babaji order, Gaura Kisora Das spent 30 years in Vraj, engaged in intense religious practice. He also traveled outside of the Vraj area, visiting northern India and Bengal. While in the east, he met many of the leading Vaishnavas of Bengal and Orissa, such as Swarup Das Babaji of Puri, Bhagavan Das Babaji of Kalna, and Chaitanya Das Babaji of Kulia. No idea who these devotees are. Back in the day, they seem to have been very prominent towards the latter part of the 19th century. We're talking somewhere between 1850 and 1900s. In 1893, after the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was consecrated at Sri Mayapur Yogapeeth, Jagannath Das Babaji ordered Gaura Kisora Das to stay in Navadvip. This is where he remained for the rest of his life. He saw all the residents of Navadvip with transcendental eyes, considering them to be divine beings. He thus accepted madhukari from them, cooking everything in a rejected clay bowl. It is said sometimes he would subsist on nothing but Ganges water and mud. Often he would go on for long periods without eating, chanting the holy names constantly. He set the standard for those in the renounced order to live the life of solitary worship, remaining completely independent of others. Mahaprabhu's personal envoy, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, was extremely impressed by Gaura Kishore's extraordinary renunciation, pure devotion and attachment to the Lord, Gaura Kishore would often go to Bhakti Vinod's home in Godrum Dweep, Swananda Sukha the Kunj, where he would listen to him, give readings of the Bhagavat, and discuss Vaishnava theology with him. So, here is a time, a very glorious time in recent history, where we've had 4 Vaishnava Acharyas present on the planet. 4 pure devotees, associates of Lord Chaitanya that we know. There seems to have been others, like, I don't know who these are, Swarup Das Babaji, Bhagavan Das Babaji, but they're saying many leading Vaishnavas of Bengal, so maybe they were all also genuine devotees. But at least in our Sampradaya, to think that 4 Vaishnava Acharyas of our Sampradaya were present at the same time for a short period of time. This is Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Interestingly, Srila Prabhupada appeared at that time, but he was not manifest as a Vaishnava Acharya. Srila Prabhupada's birth year is 1896, so 1893 is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, consecrated. So that's a period when on the planet, in our Sampradaya, we had 5 Vaishnava Acharyas, 4 revealed, 1 hidden. So pretty amazing period of time. We're all here because of those. We don't know how significant it is. We can look at our own lives. That's how, at least that's the minimum we can understand the significance of it. There's so much more that's just beyond us, capable to understand. But Yoga Maya, out of the desire of Lord Chaitanya to spread his movement, brought these Vaishnava Acharyas. And guess what? All 5 of them are in Bengal. They're in one part of the world, within a very short distance, not so much distance between Mayapur and Kolkata. And they're all in that zone. It's like pretty concentrated, transcendental potency. And it seems very appropriate that Lord Chaitanya's appearance place becomes revealed to the world when these powerful associates of Lord Chaitanya are present at the same time. It becomes manifest. So Supreme Lord manifests when you have Vaishnavas. And when the devotees are there, I forget that verse. Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami aham narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. So that's the verse, right? Anybody knows? No. That naham tishtami vaikunte. That I'm not, Krishna says, this is in some Purana, I don't know which one, it's quoted, Prabhupada quoted it, that I'm not situated in Vaikunta and I'm not even in the hearts of the yogis. Yatra gayanti madbhakta, that wherever my devotees sing my glories, tatra tishtami aham narada, oh Narada, that's where I am present. So, as we can see here in the divine life of Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, so 1893, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj passes away in 1915. So that's a span of just under 20 years, 30 years, that Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj is been ordered by Jagannath Das Babaji to stay. So you can see, even though he's Babaji, he spent 30 years in Vrindavan in intense practice. When his guru orders him to do something, he does it. The guru orders him, Jagannath Das Babaji orders him to stay in one location. They stay. Why is this important to understand? Because the principle of following guru is never given up. It's not even given up when you're a Babaji, And there's unfortunately at least one personality that I can think who was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who took Babaji Vesh and rejected all his teachings also. This is not Babaji. It's nonsense. How dare you? How dare you? But that Gaura Kisora Das Babaji was not that kind of a person. And sometimes we don't recognize the value of that, or the significance. Like we know about Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they left so much teachings for us. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur left so many teachings for us. Srila Prabhupada left so many teachings for us. But Gaura Kisora Das Babaji, Jagannath Das Babaji, they're on the altar, but, we don't really feel their significance. But their example is their greatest contribution to the planet. Their example, their presence. What we have to understand is that how great must these personalities have been for personalities like Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta to feel obliged to them, to their presence, and to feel, not just obliged, that they feel like these personalities, Jagannath Das Babaji, Gaura Kisora, we're going to read about this, they brought them out of ignorance. And so for us, we have to understand the greatness of Jagannath Das Babaji, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji, through understanding how they were perceived by acharyas like Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. These people, we can get some idea, or we get to read what they're saying. So, and here you can also see how Gaura Kisora Das Babaji he's so renounced that he would eat with subsist on nothing but Ganges water and mud. How can you subsist on mud? It's really inconceivable. You must really think that, what is that? Dasavada padarenu mora panchagras. What is the translation? Bengali. Yeah, but dust to the lotus feet of the 6 Goswamis is my 6 kinds of foodstuffs. 5 kinds of food, mora panchagras. So, my 5 kinds of foodstuffs. It's one thing to kind of understand that in a metaphorical way. But, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji is literally doing it. He's literally subsisting on this. Which means, you cannot imitate this. It's not possible to imitate this. And that's why Bhakti Vinod Thakur was extremely impressed with go on for long periods without eating, just chanting the holy name constantly. And such a personality would listen to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is a householder working as a British magistrate for a Mlecha government, up externally. And how many children did Bhakti Vinod Thakur have? 14, I think, yeah. Something like this. So many children, all this looking like just some conditioned householder. And Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, who eats mud and subsists for going without eating for days, is going and listening Bhagavad Katha from Bhakti Vinod Thakur and discussing, Krishna Katha with him. It's really amazing. Okay, Saraswati Thakur meets Babaji Maharaj. Babaji Maharaj never accepted service from anyone. He constantly chanted the holy name, sometimes counting the names on a tulasi mala, at other times by making knots on long strips of an old cloth. His favorite texts were Narottam Thakur's Prarthana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika, which he considered to be his all in all. His renunciation resembled that of Raghunath Das Goswami, and he possessed the same attachment to Krishna. In 1898 AD, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj met Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur for the first time at Swananda Sukha Kunj in Godrum Dweep. Saraswati Thakur was enchanted by Babaji Maharaj's heartfelt emotional kirtan. He wrote the kirtan down and later taught it to his own disciples. The song describes Raghunath Das Goswami's ecstatic separation from Radha. It's there below? We can sing that. Okay. You got the mic? Oh wait, we'll read the translation first. Go below. I've never seen this song actually before until I read this. So that's another source of ecstasy. So otherwise we're not qualified to sing all this. Where is the abode of all love? Radhe Radhe. Glories to Radha. Show yourself to me, Radha. Give me life once again. I've become a beggar for you, Radha, and I am calling you. Oh Radha, you coward in Vrindavan means sport, I assume. You know what coward means? Some ancient English. You enchant Krishna's mind. You are chief amongst the 8 Sakhis. We're not supposed to sing this in public, huh? I didn't know that. It doesn't say this here. Okay, so we just read translation. Sorry. We can't sing this one because Mahotsa just said that. He says, Guru Maharaj makes a note in Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not want this bhajan to be made public. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, you are chief amongst the 8 Sakhis and are the daughter of Vrishabhanu. Raghunath Das Goswami regularly, constantly calls out to you, Radha. He calls for you in Keshi Ghat, in Vamsi Bhat, Nidhuvan, Kunjavan, in Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, in Kusumvan and Govardhan, in Talvan and Tamalvan. He calls out wearing only a worn and dirty cloth and rolling in the Vrindavan dust. The names of Radha on his lips, his eyes are filled with tears. He wanders through every part of Vraja calling Radha's name. Day or night, for 23 hours, he thinks of nothing but Radha and Govinda, and when he sleeps, he dreams of Radha and Govinda. So this is in reference to Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, that this was his feelings of separation. We can just read the translation. We can't sing it in public, and we can only sing it in private when we attain such a level, and with the blessings and permissions of our predecessor acharyas, we may step into such thing at a point when we have become completely liberated from material desires and achieved real attachment for Krishna. So, this is that we understand that this is the only hint that we are given of Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj when it says Vipralamba Rasam Bodhe, that he's experiencing the rasa of Vipralamba. Ambodhe means ocean. So Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj is swimming, relishing, immersed, completely enamored by the rasa of separation from Radha and Govinda. And here we can see that Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, he's in Madhurya Rasa, and is singing or exhibiting the feelings of separation that Krishna experiences from Srimati Radharani. So it's quite amazing, all these things. So, and he's also experiencing the separation that Raghunath Das Goswami is experiencing from Srimati Radharani, because Raghunath Das Goswami is an associate of Srimati Radharani. You want to say? You can reveal it. You can read. It's the time. Anybody has the other mic? Can recite it. You can just raise your hand instead of sending me quotes.
Guru Maharaj said the song beginning with Kotai Go Premai Radhe was later revealed by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati to Ananta Vasudev Prabhu and possibly a few others. It was sung only on Babaji Maharaj's Tirubhav Tithi at his Samadhi, yet not until after Srila Saraswati Thakur's passing away was it published by Ananta Vasudev Prabhu. It seems inconsistent with Srila Saraswati Thakur's policy that this highly confidential text be widely distributed or recited.
Oh, probably shouldn't have been in this book either. Anyways, alright. Gaura Kisora Das initiates Srila Prabhupada. This Srila Prabhupada is referring to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In January 1900, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur took initiation from Gaura Kisora Das Babaji on the instructions of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was Babaji Maharaj's only disciple. Babaji Maharaj was an anchorite. What does that mean? Anybody knows? Means stubborn. anchorite who had sworn, anybody dictionary? Who had sworn not to take any disciples, but he was forced to change his decision when he saw Saraswati Thakur's determination and devotion. Religious recluse. Okay, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with being stubborn. So, a religious recluse. Interesting. And then what does that word, cavort, mean? Cavort.
Cavort means to like sport.
Sport. It does mean to sport. Okay. Alright. The story is told that Srila Prabhupada asked Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj several times to give him initiation. The first time he asked, Babaji Maharaj told him, if Mahaprabhu tells me to, I will. The second time Babaji Maharaj told him that he had forgotten to ask Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada did not give up and came a third time. Babaji Maharaj said, virtuousness, scholarship, and other qualities are not the means to attain the Lord. They do not give you any right to initiation. Though he had been turned away by Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji repeatedly, Srila Prabhupada did not abandon his resolution. Ramanujacharya was turned away 18 times before receiving the mercy of Goshti Purna. Srila Prabhupada showed his qualities of patience and determination and continued to come before Babaji Maharaj. He humbly entreated him to give him initiation until finally Babaji Maharaj's heart melted, and out of great affection, he mercifully initiated Srila Prabhupada by sprinkling the dust of his lotus feet on his head. Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji would never allow any materialistic persons to touch his feet. If they did so, he would make a show of anger, saying, "You are doomed." Most people were thus afraid to attempt it. On this occasion, however, he himself offered the dust of his feet to his dear disciple and smeared it on his body. From Srila Prabhupada's disciples, it is heard that he was turned away 12 times before Babaji Maharaj became compassionate and initiated him at his 13th request. Others say it happened on the 4th time. This story reminds one of Narottam's initiation by Lokanath Goswami. Unswerving dedication to the Guru is the sign of a disciple. Afterward, Babaji Maharaj, judging Srila Prabhupada to be eminently qualified for the task, blessed him and ordered him to preach Mahaprabhu's message all around the world. So, there's some story that, seems to be just a popular fabrication, that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur threatened to commit suicide. And then Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji relented and gave him initiation. There is no factual pramana for such a story. It's just said that he was determined, he kept approaching, and by his great eagerness and sincere dedication, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was initiated by Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji. Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj's heart melted, as it said here. And we can also see how Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, overall, he would just, there's another description here given later, that his glory, he really hid himself from materialistic people. They would not be able to understand him. And Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj did not want to be regarded as one of the other Babajis. And therefore, these other Babajis would happily offer their feet, allow it to be worshipped, get big donations and have beautiful women or other people's wives and all these other things that they would get. And Babaji Maharaj was just the opposite. Gaura Kisora Das Babaji was just the opposite. It's almost like, he would make a show of anger saying you're doomed, but you have to understand that people are sentimentally approaching such a person thinking he's a sadhu, and then for them it's more like just receiving a curse. It's like, you're doomed, you're finished. And so that's not something people would want to receive when you approach a sadhu. You get cursed. So then, the rumor would go around, if you go and approach this Babaji, he'll curse you. So better don't go near him. And that's exactly what Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj wanted. He did not want to deal with these people. There's more amazing stories, but okay. And here you can see how Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj has the mood, the proper mood of wanting Lord Chaitanya's message to be preached. He's not one of these recluse Babajis in Vrindavan who criticize all kinds of preaching activities and who who criticize everybody who's a manager, everybody who's a book distributor, everybody who's who's a sannyasi, who's a guru. They're all fallen because they're not engaging in Harinam Sankirtan, or something like this, some crazy idea. And so he's not like that. While he exhibited deep taste for the holy name, and he himself lived his life completely in the Dham, he orders his disciple Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to preach Mahaprabhu's message all around the world. So he's not a bogus Babaji who doesn't have proper understanding of the philosophy, who doesn't have proper understanding of the mood of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada describes his guru. Srila Prabhupada wrote the following words about his guru with exemplary humility in order to show the world the definitive path to auspiciousness. In order to complete the gaping needs I felt, I was busily trying to get my hands on everything under the sun. I thought that possessions would fulfill my needs. Over time, I had indeed accumulated a great number of rare possessions, but was not able to rid myself of the sense of being unfulfilled. I had encountered many personalities who were reputed to be great saints, but saw various deficiencies in every one of them, and so was unable to give them my full respect. Fortunately, the supremely merciful Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu allowed two of his dearest companions to show their kindness to me. I was egotistically so self-absorbed that I had completely lost any sense of where my well-being could be found. Even so, due to past pious activities, I was able to get the association of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was my ever well-wisher. This is very interesting how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur never viewed Bhaktivinoda Thakur as like a mundane, father. He always viewed Bhaktivinoda Thakur as this great, merciful Vaishnava who took up the merciful role of being his father, and in that way lifted him out of material existence. It's just amazing the attitude that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There's so much more that could be spoken about that, but that's a subject for another day. My Prabhu often came to visit him and sometimes stayed overnight at his house. My Prabhu is referring to Gaura Kisora Das Babaji. Out of mercy to me, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced me to him. From the time I first met my Prabhu, my stubborn egoism started to diminish. Previously, I used to think that everyone who took birth in a human body was filled with the same faults that I had. But upon seeing my Prabhu's divine character, I realized that there truly were flawless Vaishnavas in this world who matched the ideal. So, this is how one must view the spiritual master. The spiritual master is a perfect personality from whom one can learn not just philosophy, but one can learn behavior, character, humility. All kinds of Vaishnava qualities are found in the personality of Srila Vaishnava Thakur. And from such a Vaishnava Thakur, one should learn, meditating upon their qualities and characteristics and try to imbibe them, because such a person is truly faultless. And this is important also because we, in our character, in our activities, we are full of faults. And the only way we can become faultless is by carefully analyzing and understanding the quality, activities and pastimes of the great Vaishnava Acharyas. And especially one is expected to do that for one's own spiritual master. This is very, very, very important. And we can see here, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is instructing us that upon seeing my Prabhu's divine character, I realized that there were truly flawless Vaishnavas in this world. From the time I met him, my stubborn egoism started to diminish. So that's what will happen to us when we understand and analyze with the intention to learn the great quality of our spiritual master, the great qualities, the activities of our spiritual master. Because it's very easy for us to assign mundane characteristics to the spiritual master. And that is a very important point. Sometimes, the disciples, they see the spiritual master says gives instruction or says that this is what should be done. But then sometimes it might be seen that the spiritual master on certain occasions doesn't seem to be doing that. Now there's two ways to understand this. One is that first off, if we have an instruction and it's a clear instruction, the instruction is meant for us to follow. The person who gives the instruction may follow it out of their own accord, but it's not obligatory that they follow that instruction unless they have such an instruction from their spiritual master, and in that way. So, that's very important to understand. For instance, Srila Prabhupada ordered his disciples to attend Mangalarti, but he himself did not attend Mangalarti. But how does one understand that? Then when do you analyze that? Yes, you do. But the way you analyze it, you understand that Srila Prabhupada is a transcendental personality who is 24 hours engaged in Krishna consciousness all the time. And therefore, he is on the platform of Raganuga, where such things, he may do it out of his own accord, but if he does not do it, it does not affect his Krishna consciousness in any way. But for us, it will. So, it is important to understand these things. It's important to understand. So, that's one way to understand. The second way to understand is to see that is to understand how exceptions to a rule are applied. And where they're applied, how they're applied. Not that there's an instruction, I saw that even Guru Maharaj doesn't do it. And therefore you don't do it. You saw him once not doing it and you don't do it. He's spoken about doing it. He instructs us to do it, but then you don't do it. Why? Because one time, you don't know exactly the circumstances, why he did what he did. And you're not willing to, you don't analyze it. You don't try to, why did he do it? Did you ask the personal associates why? Did you ask him why he did it? You don't ask any of those. Maharaj did it, therefore I ignore. So this kind of nonsense also will never help one reform one's character. But it is very important to analyze the transcendental behavior of Vaishnava acharyas. Thereby one can understand how to behave. And those who are insincere, Maya deceives them in this way. Why? Because they have not understood the principle. Guru Sunara Matihi. That Guru is not a mundane personality. He is not a mundaner of this world. Srila Prabhupada further wrote, many people saw Gaura Kisora Das Babaji, whether innocent or experienced, young or old, learned or ignorant, or proud of their being advanced devotees, were not able to truly see him. That's a weird English. This is the divine power of Krishna's devotees. Hundreds of people came to see him, seeking help in fulfilling their material desires, and he would give them advice. But this was a kind of deception. There are countless persons who take on the dress of a saintly person and make a show of acting like a saintly person, but on closer analysis are far from the standard. My Prabhu was not a cheater like them. It is clear from his spiritual activities that he identified complete honesty with the truth. His sincere affection was incomparable. It proved that the attainment of spiritual powers is a deception. He showed no enmity for those who opposed him or disagreed with him. Similarly, he made no particular external show of affection for those who were objects of his compassion. He used to say, I neither love nor hate anyone in this world. Everyone is the object of my respect. That's amazing that he wouldn't show affection to those who were objects of his compassion. External show of affection, as to quote exactly. So this is also an important thing to understand, that as we are advancing in Krishna consciousness, we should not be expecting any of these things from the spiritual master. That we get some attention, spiritual master says something nice. He may of his own accord in order to encourage us. And as a devotee progresses more, he should think that whenever the spiritual master is glorifying him, it's only because of his neophyte position that it seems like he has still not overcome the platform of where he needs to receive some praise and recognition for him to keep going on in his service. But actually he doesn't deserve anything. And so this is how a devotee should think when he's receiving praise, that actually this is all just a farce. And why is this all being told? Because none of this is true. Why is this being told? Well, my Guru Maharaj, he's trying to encourage me. I'm such a neophyte. I'm such a neophyte that I can't be satisfied by just performing my duty. and being happy with my duty. I need recognition. I need to be recognized by different Vaishnavas. Because we give too much importance to this feeling culture. But we see here Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj being Babaji, being renunciant. He doesn't care for the worldly emotions that people feel, the conditioned souls feel. For neophytes like ourselves, we can be very grateful to Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, that if we were to meet such a personality like Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, he is so much higher than our perception or the tamo-gun that we are in, that we would not be able to understand this behavior of such a personality. And our acharyas, even though they are on the same platform of Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, they act in a manner that helps us advance in our Krishna consciousness. This is their great compassion. But we can see the real standard here. How Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj treated his disciple Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. What Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur expected from his spiritual master. He expected nothing but to be the object of his mercy. And what does it mean to be the object of his mercy? In whatever way Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj would dispense that mercy, that's the mercy. That was his firm conviction in his spiritual master. Amazingly, Prabhu would be surrounded by people with no understanding, fakers and materialists, inimical to the path of pure devotion, who thought themselves to be the recipients of such a saintly person's mercy, but continued to engage in sensual activities. Prabhu never openly rejected any of these people, but he never openly accepted any of them either. It's really amazing. Babaji Maharaj's disappearance. Babaji Maharaj was an expert judge of character and had highly developed foresight and clairvoyance, often foretelling events in the distant future. On the 30th of Kartik in 1322 Bengali, which is 1915 AD, Paramahamsa Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji entered the eternal pastimes of the Lord. At the time when he was residing in Ranir Dharmashala in Kulia, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur received news of his disappearance, he was overcome with feelings of separation from his Guru and immediately hurried to the site of his departure. He was heartbroken to see that the Mahantas, abbots of various ashrams were busily arguing about where and how to bury his body. The idea of the Babajis was to lay claim to any future Samadhi temple, as such temple would be an attractive pilgrimage site and a possible source of money making. Srila Prabhupada alone stood up and spoke out against this rascaldom. As things heated up, the Navadvip's chief of police, Jatindranath Singh Roy Bahadur, came to maintain the peace. We kind of saw a little bit of this in a different way, in a completely different context. At the Canterbury Church can you remember we heard all this story about how the priests were milking there was the tomb of this whoever that saint was over there, the saint of Canterbury, Yeah, the martyr. But then the priests who came after that would talk about the miracles that you get by preaching, and then the stained glasses have them all displaying bags of gold coins, because it meant that you have to give a donation so that you get the blessings. And anyways, this was the corrupt Catholic Church back in the day, and it's kind of hilarious to see that. It's in the stained glass, meaning you come there and you look at that, it's a sign, that's what you need to do. You need to give a bag of gold coins, to get your blessings. So it was kind of funny. But it's existed all over the world. And so we're seeing that here in Navadvip. And these people wanted to exploit the body. Just see the mentality of the materialists. You won't even leave a dead body if you can exploit it. Even a dead body can be used for one sense gratification, as much as you can milk it. Even after that body has ceased to exist, if you can make something out of it, then make it and make money. So, how much the conditioned soul is bahirmukha to Krishna, out of lusty desire to gratify himself. At that time, Srila Prabhupada had not yet taken Tridandi sannyas. The Babajis argued that as they had taken the renounced order, they had the right to perform the last rites for one of their order. As this was not the case for Srila Prabhupada, he had no rights. Srila Prabhupada displayed his spiritual strength and stated that he was Babaji Maharaj's one and only disciple. He then asked them if there was any amongst them who had not had illicit sexual relations in the previous 6 months, in the previous 3 months, 1 month, or even in the previous 3 days. He who had done so would be doomed if he touched Babaji Maharaj's divine remains. This story is very nicely recounted in Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava. But anyways, since we're reading this, we'll continue reading here. When he heard Srila Prabhupada make this challenge, Jatindra Babu asked how anyone could prove whether or not he had illicit sexual relations. Srila Prabhupada answered that he would take anyone who came forward at his word. Meaning Srila Prabhupada answered that he would take the word of anyone who claimed to say so. When the Babajis recognized the great spiritual purity emanating from Srila Prabhupada, they slowly slunk away one by one. This is kind of amazing because these people are when I read the story, I couldn't believe it that the Babajis actually did that. But what you can understand is that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur exhibited some great spiritual potency there, to the extent that he actually scared these Babajis away. Because otherwise what these Babajis are, we're going to read another story here, but they were really, really despicable people who were doing all kinds of nefarious things. They didn't really care about sin. But somehow or the other over here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, through some great spiritual potency, managed to put some fear in these people's hearts, and to the extent that they actually left. The chief of the police was embarrassed at this sight, and he paid obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, and then he left himself. Some residents of Kulia told Srila Prabhupada what Babaji Maharaj had said about his last desires. Apparently, he had stated that he wished his body to be dragged through the streets of Navadvip so that it would be covered in the dust of the holy Dham. Srila Prabhupada replied, "This is my Gurudev. Even Krishna is honored to carry him on his shoulders and carries him like a crown upon his head." He said these things to confound the pride of the materialist with his humility. We may be inexperienced fools and offenders, but we should still make an effort to understand his intention. When Haridas Thakur entered his eternal pastimes, Lord Gauranga took his body to his chest and danced with it. What a precedent, he said, for honoring the perfected soul's departure. We would rather follow Mahaprabhu's example and carry Siddha Baba's divine remains on our head. So, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj anticipated that these rascals would try to make money off of his body. So he said, just drag me through the streets. You drag a body through the streets, it's going to rip apart and all this, it's like, it's a very grotesque thing to do. But that's how much Babaji Maharaj, he didn't want his remains to be exploited by sensualists. On the first day of Agrahayan, in Kulia's Newton Chora, Srila Prabhupada performed the Samadhi rites for Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji according to Vaishnava Smriti injunctions. A certain Podar Mahashai of Loha Gaur in Jeshore district gave the land for the Samadhi, renouncing any claims on the property. Later, however, he reneged on his promise and came to live there himself and engaged in various illicit activities on the site. During the Ganges floods, one season, the Samadhi temple was washed into the river. On the 5th, just see here, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj, this rascal donates the land and then reneges on his promise and then starts to perform illicit activities at the site of the Samadhi temple. And it's almost like, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj's desire was not to let this continue on, so the Ganges came and flooded and washed off the temple. On the 5th of Bhadra, 1339 Bengali, 1932 AD, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur retrieved some of the remains from the Ganges bed and took them to the Chaitanya Math, where he established a Samadhi temple on the banks of Radhakund. The site was consecrated on the 2nd of Ashwin, 1339. In the course of time, a small temple housing the Murti a murti of Gaura Kisora Das Babaji was constructed there. The murti's Nitya Seva has continued ever since. Babaji Maharaj's teachings. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur recounted some events from Gaura Kisora Das Babaji's life that are full of import for the practitioner of devotional life. On one occasion, a certain Babaji came to visit Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji with some followers in tow. I guess that just means that the followers were following him. These acolytes began glorifying their Guru to Babaji Maharaj. Our Prabhu is so merciful. He takes so much trouble to travel from place to place to deliver the poor fallen souls. If he did not travel, what would be the destiny of these forsaken places? Babaji Maharaj immediately became cross and answered, if someone makes a pretense of delivering the world when in fact he is only interested in making money and garnering prestige, he not only does no one any good, but falls down for having cheated others. 2. One day, a few devotees were describing the expertise of a particular lecturer on the Bhagavat. Babaji Mahashay knew that this individual received money for his services. He said, this fellow does not explain the Bhagavat or the scriptures of the Goswamis. He simply is speaking on the sense gratificatory scriptures. He isn't chanting Gaura Gaura or Krishna Krishna, but money, money. It has nothing to do with bhajan. The end result is that the true Vaishnava religion is obscured. Nothing good can come from it. Indeed, the world will be harmed by such preaching. So, here again, this might all not seem very surprising or mind-blowing to us because we hear this from Srila Prabhupada. We've heard this from our own founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and we've read this in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's teachings and other things. But these things are being mentioned for us to be able to understand how all the acharyas are speaking in the same way. And back then, these things were very revolutionary to be said. Nobody was saying these things. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had not yet manifest his fierce, lion-like preaching, mood. And so, here you see, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj is exhibiting that same mood. 3. One day, this is what I was referring to about Babaji Maharaj, the story I was referring to previously. One day, Babaji Mahashay was chanting japa late at night when he suddenly jumped up and exclaimed, "Did you see that? Did you see? A professional speaker on the Bhagavat has gone to Pabna district and has just made a chaste widow break her vows. What a shame! These rascals are giving Mahaprabhu's religion a bad name." He spoke as if he were personally witnessing the event. So, a chaste widow, this is what professional speakers were doing. Hopefully, I don't know what's going on in the world today, but rascals like this do exist, have always existed. So, therefore, it's not surprising to think that such people would have existed. Number 4. The owner of the Navadvip Dharmashala was a certain Girish Babu. One day his wife offered to build a cottage for Babaji Maharaj. He answered, "I have no problem sleeping under the straw shelter on a boat. The only problem I have is that so many rascals are constantly coming to me, asking me to bless them. They disturb my chanting. They don't really want my blessings because they don't really want what's best for them, but still come to disrupt my chanting the holy name. If you give me your brick outhouse is the place where you pass stool. It's where you have a compost toilet. I will be able to chant in peace. No one will come to bother me there." When he realized that Babaji Mahashay was serious, Girish Babu immediately had the outhouse purified with cow dung and brought in a mason to completely redo the building. So, again, this is also Babaji Maharaj's amazing quality that he would go and chant Hare Krishna, lock himself up in a toilet where people pass stool, and there's all kinds of flies, and it's just disgusting. A outhouse is never comfortable by any means. And so Babaji Maharaj wanted to be there because he didn't want to be disturbed. Thank you. One day during the cold season, a devotee made a gift of a quilt to Babaji Mahashai, but rather than wrapping himself in it, he simply draped it over the tiny bamboo shelter under which he slept. When asked why he did that, he answered that the cold would go away simply upon seeing the quilt. How do you understand these stories? You just read them and you say Jai Baba, Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj. So, 6. One day, the Raja of Kashim Bazar, there's so many different spellings for this. But Kashim Bazar, Sri Manindra Sir Manindra Chandra Nandi Bahadur invited Babaji Maharaj to his palatial residence for a Vaishnav assembly. Babaji Mahashai answered, "If you want my association, leave all your riches and come and live under a bamboo shelter like mine. You won't have to worry about food. I will beg enough to feed both of us. If I go to stay in your palace, it won't be long before I start desiring to enjoy sense gratification. I will start thinking about how I can accumulate a property for myself. Then before you know it, I will become your enemy. If you want to preserve our friendship, and if you wish to be kind to me as your Vaishnav friend, then you will come to the Dham and join me in worshipping the Lord and eating madhukari." So here, Babaji Maharaj is instructing us on how when one associates with those who are worldly minded, even if they are Vaishnavas, prolonged association with those who are worldly minded is dangerous for one who is in the renounced order of life. It's very dangerous. Mahaprabhu also exhibited this in not wanting to see Pratap Rudra Maharaj for a very prolonged period of time. And so in this way, we also, as devotees, especially those who are in the brahmachari ashram, they should always want to come back to the shelter of brahmacharis and in that shelter live a simple life. Not live a complicated life, not try to make our lives complicated than more complicated than what it is. I've been, after I visited ISKCON, I've been speaking about Bhanu Maharaj several times to Chandanacharya Prabhu, because, I know Bhanu Maharaj. And it's just amazing to me. I've known, His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj from, 2010. I've seen him since 2010. The way Maharaj lived in 2010 is the exact way he's living in 2014. And when I say that he lives the exact way, he dresses the exact same way, the color of his clothes haven't changed. The way he comes to the program, the way he sings his kirtans, it's all exactly the same. It's exactly the same in the sense like it's like a photocopy. His room looks exactly the same way that it looked when I had seen the room 14 years ago. It amazes me. He doesn't even change the color of the cloth of anything. Nothing changes in that room. His schedule is exactly the same like it was 14 years ago. Maharaj has great health. He's older, but he obviously looks a little older than I had seen him back then. But his activities haven't changed. His stamina level hasn't changed at all. In fact, he eats the same diet. That's the other thing. His diet, it never changes. It's the exact same thing. I mean, he eats a few items, and those are the items that he eats. It's just amazing. And at least looking at myself, it's like, oh man, it changed so much. And I constantly want to keep changing something or the other. But a sign of one who's renounced is that you see that it's just simple. There's nothing complicated. It's the same. Because they don't derive pleasure in in things of this material world. Their pleasure is found in something else. And anyways, it's just amazing to me when I observed him. I was like, wow, how can you be like this? It's like, which lifetime? Forget this lifetime. Which lifetime is it possible to come to such a level of steadiness and renunciation? And just, I don't know. Even the number of times he chants Jai Prabhupada is the exact same number of times that he chants. He never changes that. He never will change that. After a kirtan, he sings Jai Prabhupada. It's just the same. That's it. It's like, it's amazing. Okay. Now, we'll sing a bhajan. Gaura Kisora Das Babaji's favorite song. Narottam Das Thakur's songs were very much beloved of Babaji Maharaj. He was often heard to sing one of them in particular. In his view, all Vaishnava teachings are contained in this one song. So, we'll read the translation. This is Gaura Pahu. Srila Prabhupada has also sung this. I've invited my spiritual death by not worshipping Lord Chaitanya. I have carelessly cast away the treasure of love for Krishna. I have rejected the real purpose of my life and given my attention to worthless things. I am drowning because of my own misdeeds. Disregarding the association of the holy, I have amused myself in the company of the wicked. Is there any wonder that the noose of karmic reaction is dangling around my neck? I have constantly drunk the most dangerous poison of sense gratification and so could not absorb myself in the taste of Mahaprabhu's divine Sankirtan. What pleasure keeps me still alive today? Narottam Das wonders, why have I not died from this misery? So, take the mic. Hare Krishna.
Gaura Pahu Na bhajiya goino helaya harainu helaya harainu helaya adhane jatana kori dhanate aginu dhanate aginu adhane Apal कर्म दोषे अपने दुबिनु अपने दुबिनु गौर पहु न भजिया गोइनो गौर पहु न भजिया गोइनो सत्संग छाड़ी कोइनो असते बिलास असते बिलास ते कारणे लागिलो जे कर्म बंध फास कर्म बंध फास गौर पहु न भजिया गोइनो गौर पहु न भजिया गोइनो विषय विषम विष सतत खाइनु सतत खाइनु विषय विषम विष गौरा कीर्तन रसे मगन न होइनु मगन न होइनु गौर प्रभु na bhojiya goinu. Gaura Prabhu na bhojiya goinu. Keno bachoye pran ki shuka paya ki shuka paya keno Keno baya choye pran ki shuka paya ki shuka paya Narottama dasa keno nagelo moria nagelo moria Narottama dasa keno nagelo moria nagelo moria Gaura Prabhu na bhojiya goinu. Gaura Prabhu na bhojiya goinu.
So, there's a big space out today. Not arranging. Pushpanjali is my fault also. We should have arranged Vyasasana, set up Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj's picture, and offered Pushpanjali. So we're going to do that today. Will be announced on Ashram Camp after it's set up. We'll offer Pushpanjali. We can take breakfast now. We'll either do it before lunch, or we will do it before Gaura Arati. So, Hare Krishna. Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj Tirobha Mahamahotsav ki
Jai.